hearing this, it sounds a bit ironic at first glance, uh, because how exactly is a digital process ensuring better physical presence, right? And all of this relies essentially on two capabilities, right? How this slightly counterintuitive statement works relies on two specific capabilities. The first is a liveliness check, where you can get either the borrower or the valuer or both to do a live face capture at the moment of signing. And so what this does is, if the face is not present, if it's not a live face, if it's just them putting a photo of the borrower to try to pass off that the borrower is present, then the eSign is blocked, right? And cannot proceed programmatically. But if it's an actual person, and you can also match that with a face match of the borrower's face, it can go through. The second, and this one is probably the more important of the two features, is you can use a feature known as geofencing, right? When you do eSign. So what does geofencing mean, right? It's where you set a specified permitted location for eSign. And if the eSign happens outside that location, it's blocked, right? You cannot physically proceed, right? And of course, if it happens inside, then it's permitted, right? So through this, you can actually ensure that the valuer is present, and you can have the borrower also digitally confirming their presence, both via digital geofencing for the valuation certificate and the entire document process. Now, both those features ensure physical presence, like they essentially block the process from happening if the person is not physically present. So they ensure the first of the two things we mentioned. They ensure the actual physical presence. But ultimately, you still need proof for the RBI. And the proof of that lies in a clear audit trail which captures evidence of both. So you need to ensure that not only do you have a geofencing and a face liveliness face capture, or one of the two, some gold lenders just choose one of the two. You not only need to ensure those features are running, you also need to ensure a comprehensive Evidence Act audit trail with clear time stamping and clear recording of the results of the face match and geofencing. So I've talked about these features in isolation. I've talked about geofencing. I've talked about face liveliness. I've talked about the audit trail. This flow on screen is how it would possibly look, right? This is one possible flow. You may have 2 to 3 different types of solutioning for this. This is the most common one we've seen solutioned in the market. One, the valuation certificate is generated. Two, the valuer geofencing is done, right? So the valuer is doing the valuation and filling the form and is like signing the valuation certificate. Geofencing is done before that eSign is taken. This geofencing ensures they're at the branch. Then three, the valuer e-signs the certificate. So it's done. Then as soon as this is done, the entire agreement and KFS kit that the borrower has to sign is generated. And there the borrower before the sign also has a geofencing, and then the borrower e-signs. So in this flow, while the valuer is signing the valuation certificate and borrower is signing the agreement, two different documents, what you have essentially is two audit trails where the valuation certificate will have a geofencing at a particular time at your branch of the valuer, and the borrower will almost instantly also be geofenced and located at your branch at the timestamp, probably at the next minute, right? So through this, you are able to show both their presence at the same location and basically the same time. There's another way to do it, which is you make the borrower digitally initial the valuation certificate itself. So you capture the borrower's geofencing on the valuation certificate as well, right? That's another possible option where you can have all of it in one audit trail. But the point is that you now have a foolproof systematic way of doing it, because ultimately the process will not proceed unless the geofencing succeeds. It will not proceed unless the liveliness succeeds, right? So compared to trying to enforce SOPs across all branches from a central office, where you're simply calling them, monitoring the branch, and still you don't, here you actually have granular control at a transaction basis, because the system itself will not go forward if things like geofencing does not proceed, right? So you have central control without actually putting in manual effort to ensure compliance.